Magnificent handcrafted pewterware. 20 years ago, together with ceramist Barbara Jackson, they built this home from scratch and filled it with all manner of art and artifact. Here's a glimpse into a day in the life of the inimitable Carrol Boys.
Carrol Boys is one of those fortunate individuals whose art has become a thriving business. Made of pewter and stainless steel, her functional sculptures, mostly in the form of cutlery, have a cult following in South Africa, and that following is spreading. She sells her unique, sensual swirls of metal across the globe. But she had to make her art accessible to make it successful.
I wanted to make something functional. I was trained as a sculptor, and sculpture is something that not many people wish to buy. So I wanted to bring sculptural pieces into the home so that people would get used to the idea of sculptures in the home.
Carol's designs are organic, figurative and flowing. Aquatic imagery and female forms recur in differing shapes, at once sensual and fluid, chunky and substantial.
While I was teaching, I started experimenting with silver jewelry, and I decided that it wasn't quite for me. I needed something else that was more sculptural, more malleable, and something that I could work with easily.
So she chose pewter, an alloy containing tin, copper and antimony. Carrol either imports it from the UK or gets the raw materials in South Africa and mixes it herself. The joy of working with pewter is its versatility. You can give it different looks by treating it with various chemicals. The pieces can thus be ruddy and pitted, dull and black, or smooth, glossy and bright like silver. Pewter is a soft and pliable metal, less brittle than copper or silver, lending itself ideally to cutlery and to her more sensual organic style. The highly marketable African rawness and energy of the pieces means that they sell in excess of 100,000 handmade items a year. They are produced out of her factories in the Cape and in the Northern Province. Each piece is crafted under her fastidious supervision, and there's no doubt that over a decade in the teaching profession stood her in good stead, ensuring the quality of the artwork that emerges from her co-workers.
This is my showroom with an example of a dinner service. As you can see, they're fun pieces. They're not meant to be serious. They're meant to, you're supposed to talk about them, enjoy them as you're having dinner with your friends, pick them up, feel them, and just enjoy the heaviness of them. You can see even the chopsticks are not particularly serious. The salt and pepper set, I don't think that too many people have wrung somebody's neck to have their pepper ground.
Carrol's work sells at Harrods and Heels in London, Henry Bendel on Fifth Avenue, New York, Giorgio on Rodeo Drive, LA, and Galerie Lafayette in Paris.
My pieces are not meant for a cabinet. I don't want people to stick them in a cabinet. I want people to love them, to use them. However, I have got the most wonderful cabinet to stick them away in. Here is an old diesel cabinet that I found in London on one of my trips, and I just so thoroughly enjoyed it that I felt it was the ideal place to have all my bowls displayed.
The skillful combination of aesthetics and functionality is perhaps the most gratifying dimension of Carrol's decidedly down-to-earth art or craft, depending on which way you view or use it. Her cutlery and crockery are sculptures that are eminently touchable. And there's no better place to use them than in the extraordinary art gallery and home she has built and shared with ceramic artist Barbara Jackson for over 20 years. Barbara is an artist of note in her own right. Her ethno-organic pots mingle and match with a hodgepodge of historic and contemporary South African objets d'art accumulated over the years through forging friendships with their creators. Recently featured in a World Interiors book on SA's best houses, their seaside home and studio allows them to relax in a sensuously stimulating environment and to keep up with the demand for their work. Barbara's pieces are a labor of love.
It's decoration, but it's almost a form of meditation. I do many dots to cover the whole pot in a certain pattern, so it almost forms like a geometric shape. And these dots, I do thousands on some of the pots. I have to do 3 coats, so it's quite quite a lot of work. It takes a long time.
And her painstakingly produced final product is exhibited in galleries in Britain and the United States. Cocooned between sea and mountain in a rugged brown brick setting, close to nature with art all around them, their world revolves around crafting, designing, shaping and making.
We've been living here for 20 years. We built the house in the early 80s, and ever since then it's just been a perfect place for artists to live. It's right at the sea with the most beautiful sunsets and spectacular surroundings.
And we're just excessive compulsive collectors. And one of our favorite artists is Willie Bester. He did the picture behind us. We did a swap with him for pots and cutlery, and we also gave him a wonderful party for his 40th birthday.
Another favorite is the Kentridge in the hallway. We bought it before I started doing cutlery, but it has knives, forks and spoons on it, so it's sort of a prophecy of what was to come.
There's a dynamic tension inherent in a home nestling in such an exquisitely peaceful setting, yet crammed full and bursting at the seams with artistic stimuli, a veritable hive of creative energy.
I think the greatest joy I have is being able to give job opportunities to people. And the more I can do for this country by creating employment and to enrich the economy, the more that it just gives me an amazing feeling of achievement.
We're totally committed to promoting art and employment in South Africa, and we're living in very exciting times. We're doing a wonderful project with women in townships with beaded dolls. It gives women dignity and teaches them basic business skills.
I'd like to put something back into this country. I just feel that that's what I'd like to do, to give back to this country.
With the overabundance of art and craft bits and pieces, the house itself makes a simple statement of friendly exuberance. Outside, the ever-changing, never-changing South African landscape. Sea and sky, the pounding surf, the smells and the sounds of the tip of Africa. Their muse and the ultimate source of their inspiration.